I want to say that I did make the first little beat, and the last one, no big deal, just playing around and stuff. Yeah, beats, techno, electric music. Enjoy the podcast.
About to pod, we say in the podcasting circle, in which I am not a part of. I rarely listen to like one podcast. I'm podcasting right now because my friend is podcasting instead of hanging out with me, so I will also be podcasting, and I'm finally getting that little bit of high, and just, unpack some things. I'm back in the United States. So like while I was there, my access to weed was scant. I don't know, I've been kind of a little bit playing chicken with the edibles and stuff. We'll see, maybe I'll take a swig. But yeah, no, holy shit, month and a half. Literally my psychiatric medication, but also like with edibles, which really make a huge difference in my mood. It doesn't help that I am going through a dry spell. It's okay, we all go through those. I'm kind of low-key terrified to even have this on in case if a friend listens to, but I feel like maybe only 2% of my friends listen to my podcast, and if you're one of those, it's like, hey, you're a true homie. But anyway, so my friend called me a simp because I made a thumbnail cover for my friend's podcast, the one podcast that I'm listening to. I listened to more than one, but anyway, yeah, I listened to this and I was just like, oh my gosh, I was for a second mad, and I was just like, she's gonna write simping here, simping for change. I don't know, what is like it to be a simp? I don't know, I just love passing people up, being like their cheerleaders. It's just so much fun. So it was originally used for men that were way too nice to women, but it basically means being way too nice to someone or crush or whatever. Am I a simp? I don't know. Is there simping so wrong? Just share the love. Make people feel good about themselves. One thing about being a femme and being into weed, I feel like it would be dishonest not to mention what some currently stuff is going on with Brittany Griner, who was sentenced to 9 years in prison for having cannabis oil, even though it helps with her pain, even though no one should go to prison for that long, and as cannabis arrests rise in the United States as well. It's crazy that it's still happening. We should keep shouting and fighting for Brittany Griner and for everyone who has been incarcerated for marijuana. It's ridiculous. It's cruel. And it also feels like Brittany's caught in the crossfires of nothing that has anything to do with her either. It's infuriating. So I will keep an eye out for that. Another thing that's awesome about being back is to fight this goddamn dry spell. To be an ethical and careful slut that is a shining example of public health service. It is August 11th and I am so fucking cold right now. It is too cold still, but guess we keep going. So now getting back here, I'm on Tinder, and it just reminds me of that song. I think it's by Woman's Right as well. So I go open Tinder, and it just says like all these archetypes of people you find on dating apps. And it makes me think, I'm like, what are the archetypes, or do people perceive me as a certain type of person when they find me on dating apps? I don't know. Now everything can be a dating app. Twitter, I don't know. This podcast, anyone that wants to take me out, let me know. And so, I feel like I hammer out 3 pieces of art, including, a cover for my friend's podcast. If you ever just be feeling very creative because of weed, or also it's been kind of a blog, but I haven't been able to do much art. So she'll just kind of like let go and do different little things. So there's this like discourse already going on Twitter about online dating, and I just want to say I read the article. It's from Psychology Today. It's actually like quick and left the way it is written, but I am talking about feminists, but it's just talking about the way we perceive now through dating, the observable trends, observable trends in dating and relationships, as well as the fact that men for so long have been able to neglect their emotional and relationship skills, and now that quote-unquote will be more competitive, which is bullshit. It shows like how damaging the patriarchy can be with both men and women. So listening to my friend's podcast, anyway, this doesn't matter. One, I feel like I should listen to more. If you have any recommendations, let me know. And later today, there's a volunteer orientation for this radio that I really like. It would be so dope. Crossing my fingers, it's gonna be slightly high during the orientation, but it's on Zoom, so hopefully that will be okay. I mean, if they wanted more podcasts, I could maybe recommend High Femme or work on one. But really, I just want to DJ. I really love DJing. Have I talked about the night that I DJed? It was like one of the best nights of my life. I listened to all of my vinyls with my headphones on until I could find the perfect list and wrote it out. It was just an experience. I'm not sure where I'm gonna fit this in, but there's this shirt I just found. And if you go on Twitter, my Twitter is femdivergent, whatever. There's a shirt, baseball shirt that says I am bisexual and I am bad at baseball. At plate, I strike out over and over again because I am swinging all over the place when the inning changes. I am so up at bat. I am in the lineup for both teams. Do not play baseball with me. I am bisexual. Let's own the biphobic shirts from before. I really want this shirt. I am bisexual. I am bad at baseball. Okay. So why am I doing techno? Because I wanted to do an episode about, I just really want to talk about whatever. I keep reminding me into my podcast to talk about whatever. I've been thinking about music, and also want to say thanks to my neighbor because he's been taking care of my apartment while I was gone. Now I'm doing the same. And when you hear techno, you hear it, or just a word you picture maybe rave or dubstep or just dancing or a fun character. I don't know. Maybe you're smarter than me. Maybe you know about techno. Maybe all the podcasts you listen to are about music and music history, or maybe about girls sometimes getting high. I don't know. There could be a lot of podcasts like that. Anyway, so according to Wikipedia, there was 2 scenes, and I now hear the German techno a lot from my neighbor, close in Germany, never close to my German fans. Is that true? And also, Detroit scene, which I think is close to Toronto, so I feel like maybe he might be familiar with that as well. Okay, so another thing about techno, and I guess just looking at the genre, it was the idea of futurism. It looked like, especially Afrofuturism, and you're near Detroit, and it also has that aspect to it, and it, I guess for me, and it's probably not always the right one, it's going and thinking of the Matrix, of dark, of chromium, of techno, technological concepts about surveillance and computer, which is Kraftwerk came out with an album about it in 1981. You probably get into the German ones, so you definitely have heard Kraftwerks, and some of you have. Kraftwerks is really cool, kind of the fathers of 7 genres of music or whatever, but it's considered pioneers of electronic music, and that can be from techno to post-punk to synth-pop and stuff like that, but usually
Especially Kraftwerk's has like influence a bit from the umbrella of electronic music, I bet you. And why not? They're really good. I'm listening to this particular song I would consider techno or whatever, and it's more melodic, and that's also kind of an interesting thing to see. I think for me, kind of the dance rock of like Ufi or, Daft Punk or LC Sound System is just a little bit of punk, a little bit of dance, a little bit of disco. That's there. Not Plughouse exactly. We don't talk about Plughouse. But yeah, LC Sound System and Ufi, definitely Plughouse. I would say because of sometimes how enhanced senses can be when you're high. I would give techno a try during the time, but like kind of research it so you just don't get anything. But I think it's also like, I don't know, it could be a good way to introducing people to it because it's so rich on sound even when it's minimal that it's an experience when your senses are enhanced or refueled. So, well, I'm gonna get myself more acquainted with some of the other genres that I love that for modern techno, sort of like minimal wave, no wave, cold wave, new wave, all those waves. Also really good to listen to when you're high. Boomers and Nexters can have techno because what we precious millennials we have is vaporwave. That's right. Just gonna say goodbye. Gonna just listen to some vaporwave, make some vaporwave. Who knows? But yeah, we're living a post-digital life.